What's up? It is Sam here. Today I'm going to cover the four-step process that I use to pick what compounds to take and the dosing to go along with those compounds. And then at the end of the video, I also have a chance to win a free bottle of Cardarine for research purposes if that's something interesting to you. So with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. So let's get into the video. None of what I talk about is any recommendation that you take any of the compounds that I am taking. This is strictly under doctor's supervision for entertainment purposes. I have a four-step process that I use to, let me get rid of this and start this. This is footage just probably from a month, 2 months ago or so, because we're currently in quarantine right now. And I'm putting together the plan of how I'm going to attack my objectives after I'm able to get back into a gym. So I'm probably going to go a little bit leaner, but at the same time, because I haven't been working out for 3 weeks now, I haven't been doing anything other than yoga and stretching. The effects I think are going to be both in terms of I'm going to be losing fat, while at the same time I'm going to be putting on size in terms of the volumization of my muscles. But what are the steps that I take to decide what compounds to take, and then what dosing associated with them. So I have a four-step process. So it always starts with the objective. Like, what are you trying to achieve? What am I currently trying to achieve at this moment in time? And that could be something that's almost fleeting, as in it changes throughout the month or every other month, what I'm actually looking to accomplish. Or during that week, or if you're going to be going on vacation at the end of April, beginning of May, then maybe shifting the compounds that you look at that are going to get you the physique or the look that you want, or help push you in that direction. The starting point always has to be like the direction you want to go, and that's always like, if you don't know, if you want to go to California and you're in South Carolina and you're just head straight north, like that's not going to be super helpful in getting you to California. You have to understand where you want to go. So that's what the goal. That's step number one. Step number two: understanding what are the available tools for me to use. So that is almost always having the foundational level of like the training and the diet and sleep. But the compounds, the drugs, the things that are available for me to use, how much time do I have if it's something that it's going to be happening in 3 weeks from today, and do I want it bad enough where I'm going to be maybe stacking 3 or 4 different compounds, or is it something that's 7 or 8 months out where I'm going to take a much more longer approach to it, where one type of compound would be okay with that, right? I want to understand, for myself, the exact availability of these compounds so that I can pick and choose which ones I believe are going to be the best ones. So that's step number two. It's just understanding what's available for me to pick from. The third one is actually taking a look. So now I've looked at all this amount of like compounds data available that's going to say, if I was going on vacation, I wanted to look lean and hard, right, in the end of May, we'll say. So that's the objective. That's step number one. Step number two: what was available to help me do that other than my diet and training? Because those are going to be the foundational pieces. Those are going to be the pieces where it's going to be, that's going to be the most important, in my opinion. By far, the diet's the most important piece, unless you take a very high dosage of things. But then then what I do is I look at all the different things that I can take that are going to help me get to my objective at the end of May, going on vacation. Say it's a warm climate, I'm going to be at the beach, so maybe I want to look hard and I want to look bigger, or whatever the case is. So, or maybe I just want to be super lean, and then the other two doesn't really matter. I just want to be super lean. So then I'm going to look at everything that's available out there to me and structure my compounds to take that are going to all be pointing in the same direction. So I'm going to have my diet pointing in that direction. I'm going to have my training pointing in that direction. And then I'm going to have all the compounds that I'm taking, if I'm taking multiple compounds, pointing in the same direction. And then on the individual compound basis, if it's a new compound I'm taking, I am going to look just new to me or new in terms of the stacking of with different compounds. I'm going to look to see the risk reward trade-off, which is going to be different for everybody. Everybody's going to have a different risk tolerance and reward profile than I will, right? Or maybe it's similar, but everybody's going to have a little bit different things that they regard as a higher priority on their reward side, and then the same thing on their risk side. Some things that maybe you think are super high priority, I may not think are super high priority. So that's going to be a little bit different. And I'll look at the risk profile because most of the time when you're trying to achieve something, there's multiple different types of compounds that can push you in that direction, and understanding what those are first, and then say I pick 4 or 6 different compounds to take a little closer look at, right? So those 4 or 6 different compounds, then I'll look at the risk reward profile of those compounds. Maybe I use all 6 and I just rotate them through with the timing appropriate so that I can finish out my objective the way I want it, or maybe I just do 2 of them and take one, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and take the other one Tuesday, Thursday, or split it up over, say, 4 weeks and 2 weeks, or whatever the case is. They're all understanding the risks associated with the timing and the dosing on all those, so that I can pick what ones are most important to me to give me the reward that I want, that I'm seeking if I was going on vacation at the end of May. And then the next, if it's a brand new compound that I've never tried before, how I always like to go about it is I will start at like half of whatever the recommended dose is. This is not a recommendation that you do any of the things that I'm talking about. This is just my own personal preference on how I like to approach things. So if it is compound that recommends a 50 milligram dosage every day, then maybe I would do 25 and I would do a 5-day split, right? So 5 days on, 2 days off. Maybe I would go with, say, 35 milligrams and do the 5-day off, 5-day on, 2-day off. So trading days, depending on what the compound is, depending on what I'm trying to accomplish. There's many different ways I would go around that, but whatever the most common recommended dose is for whatever, whether it's a SARM or a peptide or a steroid or something else, I would take, generally speaking, about half of whatever it is. Just because maybe I'm super sensitive to it. Maybe I have adverse side effects to it. Maybe something like melanotan 2, and I get super nauseous off of it at a higher dose or just a normal dose. Like, all these things come into effect, and if I'm taking anything as a base or there's already something in my system, I'm not going to know whether it's this compound or these other things that are in my system that's actually affecting me. So that's why I always like to be conservative in the dosing that I take. I'll try it out for several weeks or whatever, and then ramp it up or test it out for by itself, like maybe just have a TRT dose and then of testosterone, not really take anything else, and just take this peptide or SARM or other steroid with it to see how I respond to it, but not without testing it at a much lower dose. So I just want to recap what we have here before we jump into the free giveaway of a bottle of Cardarine. That is going to be for May 1st. So I'm going to give you all the details to that in a second. So my 4-step process: first, understanding what my goal is. Second is understanding what's going to help me achieve that goal from a drug, compound, steroid, whatever you want to call it, perspective. Once I have that list of all the things that are going to help me reach my goal, then what is the risk reward profile for the ones that I deem appropriate to take the next step forward, to really try to understand the risk associated with each one. Because if it's 37 compounds, maybe I don't want to do that. So I will kind of just prioritize them as like, well, that just is weight. It's on the borderline of pointing right direction, but there's other compounds that are going to be more directly helping me than something on this that's going to help peripherally. So narrowing that down, and then step number 3 is going into that risk reward profile of each compound that I do potentially want to take. And then once I do that and I narrow it down to say 3 or 4 compounds that I might test out or try, that's when I go into the dosing. So I'm going to understand the dosing of each one of these 3 or 4 compounds, and then take somewhere probably around 50%, whatever the recommended dose is, to understand my sensitivity to it and how my body responds to it, especially because I might be taking something else at the other time, and maybe that has an adverse reaction. So I'd rather have a lower dose of that in my body at that moment in time. Now, if you found any of this information interesting, make sure you press that subscribe button. But more importantly, if you would like a free bottle of Cartering, press that subscribe button down below. There's a link for Linktree. There's 4 or 5 different things in there. Go to the bottom one where it says enter your email. Click enter your email in. Just put in your email. At May 1st, I'll be emailing out the winner, and I'll just need your address at that point, and I will ship it out to you wherever you might be. I can't guarantee if you're in another country that you'll get it, but I will definitely try to ship it out, and I will show you. I'll send you the picture of everything after that is all completed. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below in the comment section, or jump over to Instagram. There's also a link down below in the description. You can hit me up over there, ask some questions to me on Instagram, hit me up in the DM. Appreciate you guys. Peace.